What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to Game Day Grace. I'm David Schiele. That is Cory Mose. We are always here on the Believer's Bench, right here on Game Day Grace, where sports and faith combine in powerful conversations. If you enjoy these conversations, you already know what to do. You hit that subscribe button. You hit that follow button wherever you are listening. If it's YouTube, if it's Spotify, if it's Apple Podcasts, if it's Facebook, because we put full episodes out on Facebook now. Follow us on TikTok at Game Day Grace Pod. You can follow Cory on IG. You can follow me on IG. We everywhere. We on X. We on all kind of stuff. All right.
Yeah.
So if you want to be a bench warmer, that's how you lock in with us. So we talked about sports and faith uniting, right? That's what this podcast does. Well, Cory and I had a chance to unite in person at the Women's Final Four in Tampa, except we actually didn't because Texas got clapped and they got sent home packing. So,
They did get clapped though.
they did.
Second half.
Yeah, they got clapped. I did get a souvenir, man. I'm a crazy souvenir person.
Okay.
So I've got the ball. The ball right here, that's the basketball.
I about to say, 'cause we didn't get no media gifts, which I
Yeah.
ain't trying to be that guy. But, you know, it's SEC Media Days, SEC Championship, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
Cotton Bowl, Sugar Bowl. I get football, you know, different budget. But I know people that went to San Antonio for the men's Final Four and got some stuff. So, you know, I'm not trying to sound ungrateful. You know, I'm thankful to be there. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely thankful to be there. But this was the first time I took a trip for something this big and didn't get any, like, media gift. I don't know if that's, like, your first time that happened to you or...
So my understanding is, and it's way back there, I can't even go grab it. The media gift that I'm aware of is the program. We got yes, there was a pin. So So when you picked up your credential, which is that's your pass to get in. Do I have a credential on this desk? I do not. I have some over here. Yeah. So they for those who are watching visually, they look like this. This obviously isn't it. There it is. That's the Women's Final Four one. So that's your credential. When you get your credential, you got a pin that goes on your lapel. So that was one part of the gift. The second part was the official program, which is actually typically $20. It's a little program. It's still in the plastic for me. I haven't even taken it out the plastic yet. But yes, there should have been a gift. And yeah, so one thing I'm gonna tell you. I want you to learn this. All right,
Yeah,
I'm gonna smarten you up. When it comes to events like this, right? Especially when they have like the year on it. So everything, you saw how they designed everything in there. It didn't even look like that was another team's building. And I'll let you rant about your thoughts about the building in a second. But when I walked in there, mind you, I go to Amalie Arena all the time for Tampa Bay Lightning games. When I walked in that arena, I could not tell that it was the home of the Lightning. You would have no clue whose arena it actually was because they had redesigned it from the wraps outside in Thunder Alley to the stairs. They changed the covers of the stairs. They changed the covers of the posts, the pillars. They redesigned the walls. They redesigned the walls, y'all. Like it looked like it was a whole other team's building or just a building. It looked like it was just a building that you could rent out, like a sports Airbnb, essentially. So when you see stuff like that, right, and it says 2025 Women's Final Four, Media Room, you know, all these different signs, they're not going to use that sign next year. They're not going to use that sign in 2 years. You know what they're going to do with that sign? They're going to throw it away because all of the signs say 2025 Women's Final Four. They're done with it. When the event is over, they are done. Now, I know y'all went home before the event was over, but your mentality needs to be, I'm leaving here with something. I'm leaving here with something.
I see where you go.
Okay, yeah. So when you see stuff and it says 2025, the Women's Final Four, y'all not going to be using that in 2026. So if I
like it. So
if I were to take it, right?
Yeah.
Would you miss it? That's the question. They'll be like, oh, that's stealing. Nope. It's not stealing. It's not stealing because it was trash. That just like, you know, when you go to restaurants and they about to close and they say, you want these cookies?
Yeah.
And you say, like, what? You know, what's wrong with the cookies? Oh, nothing's wrong with them, but we're about to close and these cookies are going in the trash. You say, yes, I'll take the cookies. That's not stealing. I didn't steal anything. So what you're doing is, I'm taking this off your hands.
To be honest, I'm letting you not have to dispose of something.
That's all I'm saying. So, that's stealing. No, it's not stealing. I'm taking trash off of their hands, because to me, it's not trash. What they consider trash, I consider treasure. It's going in my man cave. I've got it. It's good.
Yeah.
There's actually a piece of something in here that was going to go in the trash that I took from the NCAA tournament from 2018, I think. Okay. 2018. And it's a Georgia State sign. So outside of inside the Georgia State locker room, they had these different things to like oh, welcome Georgia State, whatever, whoop-de-woo, welcome to the not Final Four, but the NCAA tournament, right? Georgia State had lost. They were gone. So what do you think they were going to do with those signs? They weren't going to put it in the mail and give it to Georgia State. No, they were going to throw it away. So I went ahead and thank you.
You lighten their load.
I lightened the load, and now it's in my man cave. That means something to me, right?
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win. So that's my mini rant on how to handle that when it comes to like, oh, I didn't get a media gift. Oh, you can leave with something. Don't steal the trophy. Like if you take that's stealing. That is stealing. Okay?
Yeah, no towels.
Yeah, you're stealing at that point.
Yeah.
But when they have like a sign that says media seating or a sign that says dining this way, like that's not a
you don't need that.
That's a piece of trash.
You don't need that.
That they're gonna get rid of. So, man, I tried to go back, man. Them press conference chairs, the ones that had the women's Final Four. Oh, I went back to that arena for lightning practice 2 days. 2 days after the women's Final Four, and I said, "Where them chairs at?" And they was like, "Oh, the NCAA took them." I was about to leave with a chair. I said, "Where them press conference chairs?"
They were comfortable though.
They looked good, didn't they?
Yeah.
They looked good.
Yeah.
They looked good. But everything about that Final Four was not good. So I'm gonna let you start.
I'm about to say, that. Well, first thing was just the arena. You said Amalie? That's how you pronounce it,
It's called
right?
Amalie, yes. Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand how you walk around that arena for every Lightning game. It is the most confusing thing. I got lost. I know we got there Thursday. I got lost 3 times that day specifically. At one point, I had to ask one of the security people, like, how do I get back to the media section? And like you said earlier, before we started recording, like they didn't know what they was doing either. And so he starts radioing a guy like, "Hey, looking for the media section. Can you let me know?" Then he starts telling me like, "All right, you got to take a right here, left here, get on that elevator, go up to the 5th floor, take another left, take a right. But that elevator doesn't get you to the 7th floor, so you got to go on the freight elevator, go up 2 more." And I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
How do they do this for Lightning games? So all I could think about was you the whole time. Like, there's no way David does this every single time. Like the freight elevator?
No. So, no, I don't do that every single time. Okay. I understood everything that security guard just said. Everything you just said, I completely understood, and I could see it in my head. If I had to do that, I would have been able to navigate it.
Okay.
But, and I want to give a shout out to Chaz, because I was basically his navigator when we were in that arena. I was like, you ain't going to get lost around here. What you really should have done is when you got into the arena, and by the way, where you entered the arena, like where you got your credential, is not where people get their credential. That's not.
I heard it's like a little
that
side
was
area.
not it. That was not it. Where you entered was technically where the team store is.
Yeah.
Which is an area I have never been in. I've been living here in Tampa for more than 3 years. I have never entered through that door. So they was acting totally different. So that was different. But once I realized that I was still on the bottom floor, and then I got kind of guided to that back area, kind of where the locker rooms were.
Yeah.
All you needed to do was walk all the way across. The freight elevator was on the whole other side. You can take the freight elevator all the way up to the 7th floor. Okay. Which is where the press box is.
Got you.
So the freight elevator goes through all floors. That is the elevator that everybody takes.
But that takes so long, bro. Because you're stopping on nearly every floor because all the workers are coming in and out.
So that elevator is the elevator for the press box for media members. It's also the elevator for anybody that is of special importance. So Chaz and I actually met the mayor of Tampa. She took that elevator. Oh yeah. Shout out Jane Castor. She got on that elevator. So that elevator is for everybody. I've met all kind of who's who in that elevator, because that is the elevator to take. And you wouldn't think it is because it's a freight elevator, But yes, at the same time, the custodians are also going to take that elevator. And the chefs are also going to take the elevator to deliver food to the boxes. So yes, you do have to deal with that. There are some shortcuts and secret stuff, and I showed Chaz all the little secret doors and stairs. But yes, keep going though.
It was cold than a mug in there. I get it, Tahaki Arena.
You thought that was cold?
Yeah.
Oh no. No,
Sorry about
no,
it.
my brother. No, my brother. Nope. You ain't been there for no hockey game. You ain't no real.
It gets colder, bro.
No, sir. Oh,
I didn't say I was a cold warrior. I'm from H-Town, bro. I don't do cold.
Let me tell you
All
something.
right?
When I walked in that arena, I said it is warm in here.
Not you sweating.
I wasn't sweating, but it was warm. Compared to if you go in there and there's a 200-foot sheet of ice.
Yeah.
You don't know cold, man. You can't even shoot VO with a t-shirt when it's a hockey game in there. I promise you. I tried the other day. I just had on my short sleeve polo.
Shivering.
Hated it. Couldn't do it. You
Yeah,
thought
I
that
thought
was
it was
cold.
cold. Thought it was cold.
No. Nope.
Well, that tells you I don't need to be there for no Lightning game. That's for sure. The last thing I would say, you kind of mentioned it, but security was just on me about my seat, bro.
Yeah, man.
So the crazy thing about that whole situation, though, I felt so bad, bro, because apparently I wasn't supposed to have a floor seat. I sat on the court. Now, mind you, the day before when we were doing live shots, my sports director, Jeff, he was like, all right, let's go check the press box for our seats. I know I'm going to have a seat down here because I called the Texas SID, and to make sure that we have 3 spots, one for me down here, 2 for y'all up there. So he already did the whole communication thing with Texas. Make sure we got all our spots together. And so the next day, game day happens. We come around. We go up to the press box. It took us 40 minutes. Then when we get to the press box, one of the homies I know that I intern with at Fox Sports Southwest, he's an official for the Big 12 now. And so works for the PR department, whatever. When I say official, that's what I mean. And so we see each other when I get off the elevator. He's going onto the elevator, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I just saw your name on the list." And I was like, "Oh, where am I at in the press box?" He's like, "Oh no, I think you're on the court." That's when I knew something went wrong. And so we go over to the list. Not only is my name on the court for KView, the other 2 people in our sports department, they're not on the list at all. There is no. There is no KView, not even a KView position. There's just nothing. It's just Cory courtside. That's all they got. And so now I'm in a predicament where it's I'm not supposed to be happy about it. Even though in deep inside, oh, I'm jumping for joy. I get to sit courtside, bro, for the Final Four. Oh, my sports director is trying to hold his emotions in. Cause I felt bad. He went through all the channels, right? He went through the right channels. He called who he needed to call to make sure everything was set up. And of course, he didn't even have a spot. So yeah, that was very frustrating to him. And so they were trying to figure that out. But mind you, I'm chilling because I got my credential. My name fits the credential that's on the seat. So I'm going to sit there for the game. So then the game starts happening. And I kid you not, this lady comes over here. I see her. She walks behind us, looking around. Game's already started. She's in overalls. I will never forget those overalls. And she goes down the hall. She goes down the row, comes back, and I just feel her behind it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I can feel she's looking for something. But I'm thinking I'm chilling. Because like I said, my name's on the plate. And she taps my shoulder. And she goes, "You're in the wrong seat. I need you to get up right now." Not "Hey, is this your seat?" She just, "You're in the wrong seat. I need you to get up right now. This is for USA Today." And I'm actually, I'm in the right seat. My name, I showed her my credential. She said, "But does that match the nameplate?" Lifted it up because my laptop was kind of hiding it. Lifted on my laptop. I was like, "Yeah, that's Cory Mose, and my name tag says Cory Mose." So, yeah, I'm in the right seat. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness. I did not mean to. Oh my god. It's you're fine. You're okay. Just letting you know I'm in the right spot. So you can move around now. And the guys next to me, the Austin guys from the area, they were like, "That was kind of rude for you to just antagonize him and not ask. She's like, I know, I apologize. I just thought USA Today was right here. We looked at the sheet and I guess I got it mixed up. My bad, my bad, my bad. I really felt like I was the young guy on that row.
Yeah.
Because I was around a bunch of old heads.
Yeah, a lot of old heads do sit courtside.
Yeah. A lot of writers, 20, 30 years in the business. Mm-hmm. I was the young guy in the row of 10, 15 people.
How many brothers?
I was actually sitting next to a brother, Danny Davis. Shout out, Awesome American Statesman. Okay. And then 2 guys down, Cedric Golden, another writer for the Awesome American Statesman. So two brothers. Right. But yeah, I just felt like she just saw me and thought there's no way this guy has a seat down here. But it's funny enough, when we were leaving the court too, she grabbed me while I was leaving the court after the game was over and apologized again. Like, I am so, like, I just want to make sure we're good. Like, I could feel that she definitely thought I was about to talk about her profiling.
She felt it. She felt it. She felt the cancellation coming.
I swear, dude.
She knew.
Like, I just want to apologize one more time. Like, I really did not mean it. I just assumed. I'm like, yeah, it's okay. It's totally, like, I watched the game from my seat. I got my job done. Like, now I don't want any smoke, but I could definitely feel she felt some type of way about it. She didn't want to get canceled. But yeah, so that whole experience, I would say, what is one thing I like about the arena? The lightning thing. I guess that's kind of cool. Like, they have like fake lightning that goes off.
You talking about the Tesla coils at the top? Did they when? I don't think they ever fired that during the game.
They did. Pre-game.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
And then they were testing it the day before. So I got to see it the day before.
Yeah, that. So yes, they fire Tesla coils, which simulates lightning in the arena. Yes. Yeah, that's a real.
I was like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
I thought that was cool. It's pretty neat. But other than that, yeah, everything was confusing.
That was it.
Yeah, everything. Well, the press room was cool. Big press room. I don't know if that's where y'all usually have pressures.
So they actually that was reoriented for the Final Four. That is not the direction it goes. It actually goes the other way. So they turned it 90 degrees. So the door you went into, and you know how like you went into the door and you turn to your left and that's where the stage was. Mm-hmm. That's not how it is for the Lightning. You walk in that door and it's right in front of you. Yeah. Okay. So they changed it. So what they did was
wider.
Yeah. So they took that desk, put it over to the left, took down that wall. So now you got 2 rooms combined facing that way.
Oh, there's a wall right there usually.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that was reoriented. That's not a normal thing. Like I said, they was acting totally different, bro. I was like, this is not where we get credentials. Where we had media meals, that wasn't real. That's not where we have them. That's not where we have them.
What you mean? They have them down?
We have them down. So that second room where the press conference was, they put that wall back up. That's the media dining room.
Gotcha. Yeah,
that's what it is.
They acting different.
Oh yeah, they was different, bro.
They acting different.
What I did not like was the fact that they credentialed more people than they could seat.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, totally agree.
Why did you credential more people than you could seat? So what you're telling me is, and I had this whole rant with, I think they're called Rising Media Stars or whatever that publication is. I don't knock the ball over. Rising Media Stars. You credentialed all them young people.
Yeah.
Essentially told them you can come, but you ain't going to be able to watch the game with your own eyes. You going to sit in this makeshift media room, which was packed full of people, and watch the game on the little TVs we got on the side?
Yeah.
What?
Great idea.
So you credentialed me to watch the game on TV. That's what you just did. I just so happen to be in the arena. I'm so blessed to be in this arena right now because I got this credential, but I traveled all the way down here to watch the game on TV. Really?
See, I don't understand how everyone who got credentialed didn't have a seat.
Why did you credential that many people? Why did you credential that many people? My other thing is this, too. They took away my parking.
Oh, for the event?
They took
just for the event. So you have
I was approved. Oh no, it's totally different. That's the thing. We wasn't even in the same garage. They changed garages. Why'd you change the garage? The garage we always park in, you was like, nah, we ain't parking in that garage. We're going to the other one. What? So they didn't change what garage we go in. Anyway, I was approved for parking.
Uh-huh.
I was approved. When I got there to pick up my credential, I said, is this where I get my parking pass to? They said, yes. She gonna look at the computer. You are not approved for parking. I said, that's a lie. I pull out my work phone to find an email. I said, here is the email that says credential, yes, parking, yes. Showed it right to her. She goes to the boss.
Uh-oh.
Boss is right there. She said, So she looked at the email. Who you get this email from? I said, whoever is in charge of the credentialing.
I don't know. You supposed to know.
Is the one that approved it. She go over to this, I guess, master computer they had over there. Gets over there. Oh, okay. So what had happened was, so we did approve you for credentialing, but then we took it away because we only have so many parking spots available. So we decided. You
don't need one.
Didn't ask anybody. We decided that your photogs would actually need the parking passes and not you, because we figured y'all would come together anyway.
No way.
No.
Without no communication.
No, they said we had a miscommunication. We didn't tell y'all. I know you didn't. I know you had a miscommunication. This is my first time hearing it. So you took away my parking because you assumed I would arrive with my photog. But unbeknownst to you, for some reason, you don't know that I'm one of the Tampa stations. So I live here, which means my photog live here, which means we did not come together.
Coming together.
We didn't come together. So, yeah, man, I was...
You know, speaking of credentials, Jeff didn't even have one.
Oh, come on, man.
I swear. They looked his name up. We can't find your credential here, sir. They had to make the credential on the spot.
I don't understand stuff like that. I really don't. I just don't. I don't understand that. I thought operationally it could have been so much better.
Yeah.
It could have been so much better.
So much.
Operationally, man, I was like, y'all got to be kidding me.
Well, that's why I'm like, is this an Emily thing or is this a Final Four
No, I think
thing?
that was an NCAA thing because I had never, ever had that much trouble with anything related to a Lightning game. And when the Lightning came back, and I talked to one of the Lightning guys, he was like, yeah, honestly, he said that's a situation where the NCAA literally takes over. It's almost like we not even here. Like they take over everything in here, essentially kick us out, and it's like, we got it, and they do whatever they want to do. Whatever they want to do. That's why the arena didn't even look like it belonged to the Lightning. Yeah, man, operationally, it was just a little bit crazy.
Wasn't great.
Yeah, good basketball, though.
Great basketball.
I can't complain
Shout
about that.
Shout out Paige.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Paige.
AZ Fudd.
I voted. I was actually 100% correct on my all Final Four team. My votes for the all Final Four team were the exact young ladies that were named to the all Final Four team, and I think I even got the player of the tournament correct. The I forget what they call it. They don't call it MVP. They call it most outstanding player.
Oh wow.
Yeah, most outstanding.
When did you after the last game?
That Sunday, I voted at halftime of the national championship game. Had a great time. Men's Final Four.
Great games.
Amazing men's Final Four. We weren't there, obviously. Of course, Florida wins it, it's not my market, but we did do a healthy amount of coverage on it. You know, we would lead with it. Oh yeah, I mean, especially because it aired on our channel.
Gotcha.
So, like, hey, it was right here on 10 Tampa Bay, right here on 10 Tampa. Y'all see it right here. It was right here on 10 Tampa Bay. You know, the Florida Gators,
right? That's a nice
right?
jacket, though.
Appreciate you. Yeah,
bro, what? That's
this lining, bro. This lining is the same silk lining as a do-rag. And I told him, I said, make a do-rag and I will wear it. If you take this lining and make this into a do-rag, I promise you, I will come to work. I'm not gonna go on the air with it, but I will wear it. I will wear it though.
That's live, bro. We got horrible drip over here, bro.
Yeah, they give us some good swag. I really can't. I can't complain about that. But shout out to the Florida Gators, which of course is going to take our conversation into a young lady that went viral. If you don't know, it was a student reporter from the University of Florida in Gainesville, and I think, what was her name, Cory? How do you say it? Talia Baya. Young lady. We'll put her image up on the screen. We'll show some of the content and some things like this. But she had a certain tweet that went out on X, or a post that went out on X, talking about, media is not allowed to cheer in the press box, but her school just won the national championship. And people saw that and lost their ever-loving minds. They lost their ever-loving minds. People in media, people outside media, people, that have no interest in sports. And so there were all kinds of different takes on it. But I do believe our perspectives are important because Cory and I are former student journalists. We met when we were student journalists. We met at a conference basketball tournament where we were covering the schools that we were currently attending. So we know what it's like to be student journalists. So Cory, go ahead.
Okay.
Whatever you got.
Well, first thing I would like to say, one of the homies, he actually went viral from quote tweeting what she said. I mean, yeah, her video. He got put on the Barstool page about, look at this old head talking bad about young journalists. And it's so funny because he's not even old. Like, he's like 30, but, they clipped him. And so I talked to him today about this situation, funny enough, when we had a press conference with Sarkeesian. And, he was frustrated. And I see his point. And I see his side. Whatever. But I think from my perspective, that video, if we're just talking about the video that got blown up, right? I see nothing wrong with it. She's a student. She is cheering on her school. I know when we did it, at least for me personally, I didn't even think about journalistic rules that way, that deeply. When I'm on the radio station for UTA covering this basketball team, I'm just happy that I get to be traveling and like I'm there, and so the last thing I'm thinking about is you can't cheer in the press box. Now, mind you, was I cheering? No, but that's just not who I am. I don't cheer for anything. Like, even just my Texans, or the Lakers. Like, I'm just a big fist pump guy. But when it comes to this particular video, I didn't see anything wrong with her clapping, cheering, and she wasn't even like screaming like that. I think the problem for me comes with the stuff beforehand, with the having a guy, embracing the googly eyes type content that she was getting throughout the week. And then not only like embracing it, but like doubling down. Like the guy who doesn't play on the team, the bench guy, Florida.
Yeah, Anderson.
Anderson. That first picture of him looking up at her goes viral. Yeah. Everyone's commenting like, oh, he can't stand up. And so then the next interview she does with him, he's standing up. And then she says in the tweet, beating the accusations, he can't stand up when he talks to me. Then you throw in the Johnny Broom thing.
Yeah, like back up.
that is where I draw the line. Like, all right, cool. People on social media are gonna do some things, say some things in the comments. That picture is crazy. Like, I've never.
It was crazy.
I've never seen somebody in between a guy's legs while interviewing.
Never in my life.
Never in my life, bro. And so, like, to me, that was the issue for me. It was the leading up to it. So then once the last video comes and everything blows up, I'm like, dang, this sucks. Like, I don't think she deserves to get ridiculed for this video. But I'm not mad at it because everything she's done beforehand leads up to this. Like, this is basically just a climax. And so that's my take on it. Like, the initial video, I don't have a problem with her cheering. That's her school. We'll do it.
She wasn't cheering.
And that's another thing. She wasn't.
She wasn't. Opened her mouth. And all she did was make an expression. No noise.
Yeah.
Zero noise.
But everyone jumped on it. Everyone jumped on it. Because I think people were just building up. They were building up frustration. Because it's not like these other things didn't go viral. I know people saw those other tweets. I know they did.
Yeah.
And so I just think that they found that was the time to jump on her because now it's over. And now we can have some type of journalistic backing behind it. Because there's nothing like real journalistic about you can't stand in between the guy's legs. There's no like unwritten rule about, you know what I'm saying? Like, and if you're a guy commenting that, you're kind of weird, It's something that gets put in the group chat. But like women were saying stuff out in the open about it. I did see that. A lot of women came out and was like, hey, that's not appropriate. Us women in the business, like, we're trying to get away from that type of stuff. You need to get out of his legs. But for the men, I think they were waiting for a time to really dump on her. Yeah. And I think they found it with that video.
Basically, that's kind of where I want to start. Is I think they were waiting for an opportunity. Mm-hmm. They were just waiting for something to really lash out at without sounding like a hater. So when she brought in an unwritten rule, it's not unwritten, actually, it is written.
Yeah.
When she brought in a written rule that you cannot cheer in the press box, that's the one thing about what we do. So for those of you who are not in the business, when we get passes to these games and we're sitting in the press box, we're not up there having a good time partying and high-fiving when there's a touchdown or a three-pointer or a home run. We're sitting there like this. Can't do nothing. I think the most you can do is, oh, wow. Wow. That's the most you can do is that.
I be hitting that mug a lot.
Yeah. Which, you know,
that's crazy.
I'm going to tell you right now, covering the Falcons, the strength, the absolute strength, okay? Not by power, not by might, truly by nothing but the Spirit of the Lord holding my tongue when certain things would go down. And I'm like, wow. Can you believe that? You know, like that is the most I can do. I can't do nothing.
You want to flip the table, bro?
Oh, man. Or just be really happy because there have also been moments that have made me genuinely excited and happy, but I could do nothing about it being in that press box. So yeah, you're not allowed to cheer in the press box. With that being said, she was not cheering. I've already said that. She opened her mouth, didn't do anything. Do I think it was right for her to stand in between Janai's legs? No. It's to get back up from Broom. Just back up. I don't think that's hard.
Give him 50 feet, bro.
Give him, you know what I'm saying? And she's like, well, he needed to talk to the mic. And I want to be gentle with this because she is a student. That's why I'm not trying to go crazy. First of all, there are other young ladies that claim to be student journalists that ain't posted a lick of content. At least she's posting content. If you know, you know. Okay, at least she's posting stuff. There's content. There's evidence of work. She is a credentialed member of the media, and she's posting work. You know how many student journalists don't even have that? They don't have credentials. They're not going anywhere, and they're not posting work. They're just posting a selfie.
I was about to say, we see the outfits.
You see the outfits.
We see the outfits.
We see that you took a picture with whatever athlete, whatever coach. No interview. No interview in sight. And yet people are like, this is my favorite reporter. Oh, I love this reporter. This is my favorite reporter of all time. Name one report. Can't. So at least to this young lady's credit, she's doing that. My only thing is, hey, I would just smarten up. I would smarten up and be a little bit more delicate with how you approach things on social media. That's it. Just be a little bit more delicate. When I was a student reporter, which, mind you, I have the most watched college reel of all time. So I'm not saying this. I'm not saying this as just some dude. Okay. You let me know who else college reel was showed on Good Morning America and the Today Show.
Oh.
You let me know.
There we go. There it comes.
I'm not just talking as somebody who just whatever. I know what it's like to be a student journalist and go viral. Okay? You got to be a little bit more delicate with how you approach things on social media because you do have more eyes on you, and a lot of people are despising you for your youth, which you know the scripture tells you, do not let anybody despise you for your youth. There are a lot of people who will. A lot of people despised me for my youth. They hated the fact that I was a student with a reel. And look, I look at that reel from 2018 and I say, okay, yeah, there's a lot of things I could have done better. But I couldn't control it going viral. It went viral out of my control.
Yeah.
Going viral really is an accident. It's very rare when you can actually say, I'm going to make something viral and it works. Usually when you try to go viral, it doesn't work. So when something like that happens to you, you now have a lot more eyes on you that you have never probably had before. And you got to understand a percentage of those people do not like you. They don't know you. They don't know you at all. They don't even know how to say your name. They don't like you. They didn't know how to say mine. David Schiele, they have no idea who I am. They didn't like me. And they still don't. They still don't. My dad actually met one of the guys. Don't know the guy's name to this day. But my dad happened to be on the University of Alabama's campus, ran into some reporter down there and said, oh, my son's also a reporter. Who's your son? Showed him. Oh, yeah, I know him. Like,
whole mood changed.
Whole mood shifted, right? So there are some people who are just straight up not going to like you, and they never will.
Yeah.
You are not going to be everybody's cup of tea in this business. You're not. But what will always be on your side is the fact that you did your job. Did you do your job? Did you give us the facts? Did you report A, B, C, and D, or who, what, when, where, and then you let the players and the coaches tell you why? Did you do your job as a journalist? They will never be able to take that away from you, and they couldn't take that away from me. That is why I went from college to Knoxville and from Knoxville to Tampa. So I skipped a lot of steps that other people were not able to skip. Some people are still on certain steps, and they're older than me for whatever reason. I can't give you all that stuff because I don't know. I just know in my situation, that's what it is. So there's certain things that, okay, yes, I wouldn't do this. I think you crossed the line there. I wouldn't have done that, and I wouldn't have fed into what people are saying. I would not have fed into it. People had all kind of stuff to say about me when I went viral. They said this wasn't my real voice. They said I was doing the best impression of a white man of all time. They said I should just get on Indeed and find a job. They said all kind of stuff about me, right? I didn't feed into that, and I never even responded. Never responded, never gave them anything, I never gave them I never took the bait, I should say. So there are certain situations where you don't take the bait. And it's not easy to always take the high road, but take the high road. That's probably my best take, is to take away something from all of this. And it's to approach it from that angle. If you want to kind of lean into what people are saying, can you do that in today's climate? You can, but don't expect people to see you as this objective reporter. No one's going to look at you the way that they look at Lisa Salters. Lisa Salters does not tweet. Lisa Salters is hardly on X. Hardly ever. You don't see any of these things going on with Andrea Carter. You don't see any of these things going on with Elle Duncan. You don't see it going on with Lisa Salters. You don't see it, right? They just do what they're supposed to do. And they're there. Erin Andrews as well. Shout out to Erin Andrews, who cut her teeth down here in Tampa. Do your job, go home. Don't lean into it.
But you said something that intrigues me though, bro.
Yeah, what's up?
Because I was talking to, shout out Chancellor Johnson. We were talking about this situation, and we got to a decision of and this makes total sense. And to me, you can do what you want, but she's on the line, Talia, that is. You can be a content creator or you can be a journalist, and you can do you can do either one. Both make bread at different capacities. Both in this day and age with social media can thrive. And honestly, content creators, they're doing a lot better than journalists right now. And with the way that she kind of setting things up, because like you said, she's setting herself up in a way. And to me, I think she's kind of putting herself in a box, which is the Barstool route, which they make bread. They have a lot of content. They have a lot of followers.
She can get a job with them today.
You know what I'm saying?
She can get a job with them today.
Which is way more attention than what I'm getting right now out of college. So where I work at right now, she could jump me easily out of college. Which I'm cool. But I just want to make sure that she understands that at that point though, you're not a journalist. You're a content creator. And as long as she's cool with that, I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? But I think when you start to taint what a journalist is by saying you're that, but you're coming off as a content creator, that's where I feel like other women in the business get frustrated because they're trying to move away from that narrative, from she's just cute, that's why she's on TV. The other point I wanted to make, though, was the fact that I feel like nowadays that line is getting blurred a little bit. Because, like I said, Chance and I have talked about it. We kind of dabble a little bit. If you look at our tweets, we're not on the full content creator, go, rah, team. Mm-hmm. But we are straddling the line of hey, that's the bro. Hey, so-and-so's doing this today. Or so-and-so is doing this in the community. We don't have to tweet that. That's not really our jobs. But we rock with these dudes off camera, So it's okay, if they're doing something in the community that's really dope, I'm going to show them some love and tweet about them. And so to me, that in this day and age of journalism, there is a little bit of a line of content creation / being a journalist, just so you can get engagement. But if that's all you do, I think that's where I struggle with supporting you in your journalism road. So just want to get that out there. I don't know if you had any thoughts about that.
Well, there's a journalistic way to go about content creation. There's a journalistic way. So if you want to give a shout out to one of the homies for doing something in the community, then do it. Yeah, like you can do that. And guess what? You can go a step further, like a real journalist would do, and you would ask one of the young men or young women that's being directly impacted by that event in the community what it's like to have this star here. That's what a journalist would do. You wouldn't just say, shout out to old dude, shout out to my, so here in Tampa, Taj Bradley, pitcher for the Rays, Taj Bradley took part in a free baseball clinic. There were a whole bunch of young black boys there. So shout out to Taj with that, right? But I would go a step further and be like, okay, who's one of the young men and who's their parent? Why sign them up for this? Why do you think that's important? A lot of people feel like basketball, football is the only way to go. What do you do? And how do you take this a step further? How do you get him into a youth baseball league? Because baseball is very expensive.
Yeah. It's
very expensive. There's a lot of equipment that goes with that. That's great content, but it's also very journalistic to go ask those questions. If you just want to stop at there's this event happening and it's great, that's just PR. It's great, good content.
Get
but
clicks.
Hey, shout out to Taj. He was there. That's it. That's all I got. That's PR. That does PR. But there's nothing wrong with that. I didn't say you did anything wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. But my challenge would be, all right, let's go a little bit deeper. Like who is this affecting directly? That's who I would that's who I would target beyond just the what's going on in the community. But that's a great idea. That's great. That's a great idea to get more eyes on you as a talent, you and Chance as talents, being able to do that. So I would definitely keep doing it.
Yeah.
But I would add those journalistic qualities to it and go further because that's what y'all do, man. That's it.
Well, a lot of these examples are like from IG though. That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
Like for example, like last night, NBA 2 nights ago, maybe last night, I can't remember. These days are adding up. Lord have mercy. Jamal Shead plays for the Raptors, rookie for the Raptors. He's from Austin, and so him and Jade Barron grew up together. So he wore Jade's jersey to the game.
Future Buccaneer, by the way.
Here you go. Now he's gonna be a San Francisco 49er, bro. I'm already calling it. But anyways, he wore Jade's jersey to the game for the pregame tunnel. Jade was there, and they posted flicks together. And so, I'm screenshotting on IG, posting Austin alum, whoop-de-whoop, teaming with another Austin alum, childhood friends linking up at the Spurs game as Jamal had his last game as a rookie in the NBA. Something slick like that. That's the type of stuff I'm saying, like,
oh, yeah.
I don't have to do any of that. I don't have to go on IG, see their page, all right, do a whole tweet about it. But, like, I rock with them. And so it's like, okay, bet. Like, that's super dope to me that, of course, childhood friends are now on the biggest of stages. And they're supporting each other on that stage. And so that type of stuff is the quote-unquote content creation / journalism type thing. Because technically, like, I cover the Longhorns. So it's like Jade Barron is still technically affiliated with Texas. I covered Jamal's high school. So it's like former Manor Mustang, put that in the tweet. So those are like, to me, like the journalistic things that I can do inside the tweet 100%. To give context.
100%.
And so, yeah, that's why I feel like this day and age of journalism has changed with social media. It's like, you really got to keep up with what they're doing, like in their life. So then people are still engaging with you on social media because they just want to know what's happening all around the teams that they love to watch.
Right. The real test is going to come when it's something negative.
Yeah. No,
Truly.
Xavier Worthy, prime example.
The real test is going to be when it's something negative. And I tell players that all the time, players that I rock with all the time, whatever level, I tell them, if you put your hands on your girlfriend, I'm not protecting you.
How did that conversation come up? I'm interested.
It just does. So if I'm sitting there talking to him and, we're just having a regular conversation and we're talking about media, and I always ask, hey, what's one thing that we as media members could do better at? Because
I like asking that question.
My job is to be the window, right? Is to be the window. So in order for people to see what's going on with y'all, they got to look through me.
Yeah.
So I should be transparent. It should be almost like I'm not even there. That's why I don't like putting myself in a lot of stories, and I stopped doing those like interactive stand-ups.
Yeah.
because it's like I'm putting myself in the story. The story ain't about me. I'm trying to be transparent. So I'm just supposed to be the window. What can I do to be a better window? And they tell me. And, everybody has different answers and whatnot because they know I have a job to do. It is my job. And that's when I transition to, okay, because of that, because it is my job, and I'm not saying you would ever do this, but if you get a DUI, if you put your hands on your girlfriend or your wife, if you storm out of practice, you crash out, it is my job to talk about it. That is my job. And if I don't, I'm not doing my job. So you understand that I have a job. So please understand that sometimes it's going to be my job to do my job and talk about something that you did. I don't want to. I don't think you would ever do that. And I hope you don't ever do that. But I need you to understand that. And if there's ever a day where you get tired of me doing that because you keep doing something wrong, whatever, then you need to hire me personally to be your PR and I will protect you. But until then, it's not my job to protect you. It's not. I had that same rant, not to Trayvon Diggs, but about something Trayvon Diggs said when he said the media and the Cowboys were supposed to be together. We're supposed to work together. We're supposed to have each other's back, and they're supposed to protect us. And I said, no, nope. That's PR.
Yeah.
It's no one's job to protect you outside of that. Whoever the official Cowboys reporter is, which is not Haley. It was Nicole. Haley. Shout out to Nicole. It's Nicole. Nicole is going to protect you because Nicole has a badge to that building. She has a desk in that building. Everybody else outside that building ain't got to protect you for nothing. Let you do something stupid. We blasting it. Not because we want to, but because we have to. It is our job to talk about the things that this team is involved in and the players that they are involved in. And if there is something that's going to affect the team as a whole, so like you're not going to be playing this year, why? Because you're in jail. It's my job.
Gotta talk about it.
It's my job.
I think it's an interesting conversation, and maybe it's a topic for another day. But yeah, I just felt like that is something to be said of like for anyone listening that's in journalism right now that may be trying to grow and look at David or even look at myself and be like, man, they seem really tight with the athletes. I think that's the biggest thing is you have to be transparent and open and take advantage of the times that you do have one-on-one outside of their supervision from the school or agents.
And ultimately, you got to see them as a person. That's how I do it. Because I see them as someone Jesus also died for. That's how I do it. That's how I see it.
Why do you feel like it's so hard for people to do that?
They don't know the Lord. What you mean? That's why. They don't know the Lord. It's I remember hearing something one day. It's like, yeah, that person you hate, God loves too.
Yeah. For sure.
God loves him too. So
I got bashed one day. Did I ever tell you about this? I got bashed post game. I do this thing, and I would love to get your opinion. But I do this thing. Speaking about like seeing athletes as people, I see coaches as people as well. Like the sacrifices they have to make away from their wife, away from their kids, watching film all day. Whenever Texas wins, right, and we're in the press conference, I do this thing every time with Sark. If I get a question in, I'm like, hey, congrats on the win. And I go into my question. That's it. Nothing crazy. I just say, hey, congrats on the win. Go into my question. I had one of the photographers stop me from another station and was like, you need to stop doing that. I was like, stop doing what? Like, stop congratulating coach. Like, it's his job to win. I said, technically, yes. That is he gets paid to get wins. But, like, we all know the sacrifices that it takes to get those wins. And the least I can do after spending his whole week away from his family, after spending his whole week watching film and burning his eyes out, creating game plans and trying to figure out how the heck do I beat Nick Saban? Like, the least I can do is say congrats on it. And I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I just want to see them as people and know the sacrifices that these guys or ladies have made over this preparation of this game. And so, yeah, I don't know. To me, that's seeing them as people. And maybe that's not journalistic. But I still asked a good question afterwards. And I didn't say thank you for the win. I just said congrats. So, yeah, I don't know.
I feel like if you said go Longhorns, that'd be the problem.
Yeah, if I said hook 'em, like, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a problem. Like, I've said congrats on the win. First of all, why are you coming up to me giving me unsolicited advice? I hate that more than anything.
You want to start there?
Business.
You want to start there?
I hate that more than anything. Yeah, I got some advice for you. I didn't ask for it. When I was in my early 20s, I used to sit there and I would just I would take it like, all right, cool, thank you, noted. Like, I'll take notes on that. Appreciate you. Now these days, I'm like, thank you for the advice that I did not ask for.
Do you say that?
Yeah, if I feel like it that
respect,
day. Yeah.
Bro. Respect.
Because it's like, hold on, bro. I have the same access you have.
Yeah, exactly.
On what authority are you coming up to me and telling me this? On whose authority? You don't sign my check. You don't give me assignments. I'm gonna tell you something.
We're not even coworkers.
I would point to Evan if Evan's there. If that man tells me that, okay, because he's the person I answer to. So whatever he has to say,
I
cool.
can totally see you doing this too. That's the funny.
But if it don't come out of that man's mouth right there, and he from New York, he just shoots straight. He don't even.
Yeah.
Ain't no such thing as sugarcoating. If it don't come out of his mouth, I don't care.
Yeah. And to tie in the whole conversation, I think that's where sometimes the old heads, they take it too far.
Yeah.
Just like the Talia video, it's not that deep. It really is.
She didn't cheer. Now, she should not have tried to make it about a rule, trying to say like, oh, this is an antiquated rule. It's not. No cheering in the press box is not antiquated. You shouldn't be cheering in the press box.
Yeah. Let's get that straight.
That's not antiquated. Like the Yankees telling players to shave their beards was antiquated, which is why they got rid of it. But cheering in the press box doesn't belong in that category. No, that's going to always be there. Because the moment we allow fandom in the press box is the moment where professionalism and objectivity just dies.
Mm-hmm.
It just dies. So, and we're already kind of losing that now because we're giving credentials out to any and everybody. And everybody don't need a credential. Everybody does not need a credential. Please stop giving credentials out.
One more time for the person in the back, bro.
Everybody don't need a credential. I promise you, they don't. Because everybody don't know how to act when they get them.
Yeah.
We got some people that have no idea how to act when they get a credential. Zero clue how to act. And I think we got to be a little bit more bold with taking them away. Like, I'll never be an SID. I will never have that job. But if I ever were to have that job, I'll be the main one taking them away. I'd be like, you ain't coming back. If you are part of a local station or a newspaper, I'll give you a season credential. If you part of one of them blogs, game by game. Because let you come in here, let you come in here one game and act up. You ain't coming back next week. I'm like that. You know what I'm saying? I was tough, man. When I was in charge of my student sports broadcasting department in college, I was tough, man. I fired people left and right.
Wow.
I didn't play. I really didn't play games.
I know they
man.
hated you, boy.
They kind of did. We had a young lady. She did a story on one player, a football player, and then went to the game. Or I wanted to. She wanted to go to the game after doing a feature story on him. Apparently took a liking to him. Wanted to go to the game in nothing but his jersey. And I said, do it and you won't be back.
What do you mean nothing but his jersey?
She wanted to wear some short shorts in that jersey to cover up the short shorts to make it look like there was nothing but that jersey on. His jersey.
Yeah. I got that.
And I said, I can't tell you what to do.
But
I'm not your dad. But if you do that on Saturday, you won't be walking in here on Monday.
Yeah, David.
I was tough, man.
Yeah, David. What was your title?
I was a team leader.
Okay, shout out.
I was team leader of Primetime Sports, which was the entity that obviously gave me the reel that went viral. But I was a team leader. I was tough. No, I wasn't liked by everybody, but it's fine.
It's a business.
We just had a standard, man. We had a standard. I needed people to uphold that standard. And if you fell below that standard, you got one warning. And if you fell below again, you were out. I didn't have time to play because it's such a large university, and there were so many actually hungry people that wanted to be in sports broadcasting.
Gotcha.
That were waiting their turn patiently, and here you are playing around,
putting on dudes' jerseys.
Here's somebody that wants to eat, and you playing with your food. Yeah. Because I got somebody that wants to eat. He hungry. You're playing with your food. you can go. And it was straight like that. And we had a policy. I said, if you go ghost for a month, if I don't hear from you for a month, we just took you out the group chat. That was in the contract that you signed. When you wanted to be a volunteer, the expectation was, if you can no longer do this, just let us know. It's an easy on, easy off.
Yeah.
Just let us know you can't do it. The moment that you go ghost, we give you 4 weeks. After the 4th week, you're out the group chat. We don't have to say anything because you didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Our policy was we will give you 10% more energy than you always give us. If you give me 100%, I'll give you 110. If you give me 20, I'll give you 30. If you give me 0, I'll give you 10% by showing you patience for 4 weeks, and then I'm kicking you out of the group chat. Like we were.
But you gotta water the seeds that are willing to grow, though, bro. I mean, that's all.
Man, we ran a tight.
You got a military camp over there, bro.
Because my father was in the military. That's where that came. My dad was in the military.
Yeah. I'm about to say you don't play. It was tough.
Yeah, I failed recess as a kid. I don't play. Yeah.
But guess what? That program's really good now.
Oh no, the program's gone.
Oh.
Nope, program is gone because they didn't have the kids. They didn't get it. They lost the plot.
My bad, bro.
They it's all good. I essentially kind of got ran out. They were tired of me. I could tell. Actually, what
not a tyranny.
What did it was
that's crazy.
One of the young ladies who was also in a prominent position.
Okay.
She had a birthday party and invited everybody but me. Everybody.
I've never heard this story.
Everybody on the team was invited to that birthday party except me. And that weekend that we met,
yeah,
I think the night before, the guy who I was with was checking his Snapchat or his Instagram or whatever. I think it was a Snapchat. And he saw all the videos from her story of they were popping bottles, they were doing cheers, they was having fun. He was like, "What?" Then I happened to look over his shoulder. He had a text from her saying, "Hey, are you coming? Are you still coming?" And he's like, "No, I'm in New Orleans with David for the Sun Belt tournament." And it was the next day that you and I met. Yep.
Oh my God.
Yep. That's what was happening that day. Yep. That's when I found out that, this team does not rock with me. That's when I thought we was cool. I did. For some reason, I thought we was cool. I thought we was all on the same page. Nope.
Talking to this random guy from UTA.
And then that's when I met you the next day.
Oh my God.
Knowing full well that I was the team leader of a team.
Doesn't rock with you. That sucks, bro. I
had essentially lost my locker room, basically. I had lost my locker room. Mind you, we were still churning content out consistently.
Yeah,
we were literally doing our jobs. Like,
I mean, that's the thing. You're still producing.
We were producing content. Like we were making it happen.
I'm crying, bro.
So the school year ended the next month, and I announced that I wasn't coming back in any capacity. No one said a word.
What?
Right.
No one. They had a separate group chat. Hope you know that.
Yeah.
I hope you know that.
They no-sold it, even though they were very happy that I wasn't coming back. And then the show basically fell on its face.
Of course. Because
I left. There wasn't structure. There wasn't order. There started being arguments. People were infighting. Basically, all those people who were now friends were now beefing with each other. And there were some, David, you were right. I'm sorry. Whatever. At this point, I'm in Knoxville.
Yeah, you don't care.
Yeah, and I had gone viral too. Which, at that point, I was no longer on the team. So that fall semester, I was no longer involved at all.
Yeah, you're basically preparing for the combine.
Yeah, I was no longer involved.
Yeah, you're doing.
They're doing their own thing. I'm not giving them any input. I'm not giving them any aid. I'm not a advisor. I'm a nothing. I'm not even involved.
You worry about you.
I'm worried about myself. I'm about to graduate. I go viral. Now they got something to say. Oh man, this dude taught me everything about journalism. That's my guy right there.
No, they did it, bro.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did it. Yeah, they're trying to latch on.
Yeah, and then when I got to Knoxville, I got my job in Knoxville, they would call me and they'd be like, so-and-so was in here talking about da-da-da-da-da, and we need your advice. I ain't got none. I have no advice. I've got nothing for you. I'm sorry.
You left them cold turkey?
Nah, I was nice. I was way nicer about it.
Bad, bro. I know.
I was way nicer about it because I am a nice person,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it was kind of like, I don't know what you want me to say.
Yeah.
Because like, if you want to know what I would have done, I know how y'all would have reacted to it. Y'all would have been upset.
Yeah.
But that's because y'all.
But that's not what you want to hear right now.
That's not what you want to hear. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's like, really, what? Give me the script. What am I supposed to say right now? You know. So that was kind of my. That was kind of my thing, man. It was tough for sure. But yeah, no, that's the truth though. Like that's really what it is. And so if I was, let's say this was Georgia State, and Talia did that same thing, we would have had a conversation. She wouldn't have been fired. She would not have been fired. But we would have had a conversation about what to and not to do
For the next trip
and for social media. And I think you can definitely take advantage of your following, but you need to do it in a certain way that keeps your professional reputation intact. The best journalists aren't even known by name.
Yeah.
The best ones.
That one person that worked for, that's what they be doing.
The best journalists.
Sunday Night Football, you know.
Not even known by name. Commentators is different. We know commentators. But the best journalists are known by name. You do not know by name right now. You do not know who broke the Colin Kaepernick story. Everybody listening. Somebody had to break it. Yeah. Now you and I know because we go to NABJ. But for everybody listening, you do not know. If I were to tell you right now, name the person who was the first to break the story that Colin Kaepernick was taking a knee during the national anthem. Someone had to break it first. Who was it? We don't know. But I tell you what, it was a very good journalist. Do you know the person who was the first person to break the story of Caitlin Clark going to Iowa when she committed? Does anybody know that? No, but someone had to. Someone had to break some of these stories. Someone had to break the story of certain injuries and things of that nature. Who broke the story about Kobe Bryant and his unfortunate death, right? And I know TMZ was technically the one to do that, but someone had to do their job as a journalist.
Yeah.
And
confirm it
and confirm that his daughter was also on that helicopter as well as the other people on that helicopter. Worst part of the job, not fun.
Yeah. Not
fun. I still, to this day, I'm hurt every time I think about it. But somebody had to break that story that it was Kobe and Gigi. And you don't know who it is. But that was a very good journalist that did their research and found out who was on that helicopter. So the best journalists, we don't even know their names. I promise you, you don't. So if people don't know mine, that's fine if it means I'm doing my job really well. I'm cool with that. And I think people get really misconstrued when they see the Stephen A's and the Skip Baylesses and even the Shannon Sharps and
Lakers in 5.
Whoever else you want to name, you say, I want to be that guy. I want to be that lady. I want to be them. Right? I promise you. And look, Stephen A's making $100 million. So who am I to start pocket watching? But there's only one Stephen A for a reason. There's only one Skip Bayless for a reason. Shannon Sharp's in the Hall of Fame. So, come on, y'all. You're not just going to be like, I'm going to just go have a Hall of Fame NFL career real quick and I'll be back. The best journalists, you don't know their names. I'm telling you. You don't know their names. Certain broadcasters, yes, you are familiar with who Gus Johnson is. Rest in peace, Stuart Scott. We know his name. Scott Van Pelt, we know his name. Al Michaels, we know his name. Anybody else that you can think of. Both the Eagles, Ian and Noah, both of them. We know both of them, right? So we know some of these broadcasters and commentators for sure. But the reporters who dig deep and I'm talking about they be in the mud grabbing stories and all that. We don't even know their names. We just know that I think it was the dude or the lady who reports on the whatever team. I don't know. I just saw this article. You don't even know who wrote it. So
it'd be in such small print too.
Yeah. Yeah. You
It'd
don't
be
know.
in such small print.
So if you never know, if people never know my name, but I did my job really well and I'm advancing in my career, great. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Totally cool with that. And I think people have this misconstrued idea that in order to be a successful journalist, everyone's got to know your name. And typically in journalism, when everybody knows your name, it means you did something wrong. There's not too many instances where I know a lot of people, like people know your name as a reporter and they all love you.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot of people like that. When people are that's...
Tell the story, not be the story.
I'm telling you, a lot of times when a reporter's name is in the news, it ain't something good.
Yeah.
It's not. It's usually negative. So if people in this business know your name, more times than not, it's for something bad. It's not good. It's not. You have to remind them of the work you've done for them to be like, oh, yeah.
You're that guy.
That's why when I say my college reel went viral in 2018, then it clicks. But other than that, nah, they don't. They're like, who is that? David Schiele. I've never heard that name before.
Yeah.
But you've seen this reel? Oh, yeah. But see, that was it, though. Because I didn't become like an influencer after that. I just started working. I just put my head down and started working. So,
hey, favorite thing about Easter? Go.
Oh, man. The favorite thing about Easter, I would say the dinner, but I think just the fact that we get to celebrate that in the first place.
Okay.
Let's do that. So the fact that we get to celebrate it in the first place because
that's facts.
We're talking about a huge miracle in the resurrection and just the evidence surrounding the resurrection, which I discovered a few years ago. It just makes Easter so much greater. The fact that there was a man named Jesus of Nazareth. He was arrested for blasphemy. He was crucified under the rule of Pontius Pilate. He was definitely confirmed dead, was buried in a tomb, and that tomb was found empty. This is historical stuff here. Tomb was found empty. Now, whether you believe he resurrected or not, that's up to you. But that tomb was found empty. And there are around 500 people that claim to see him resurrected. And then his enemies converted. So if he just stayed dead, I promise you Paul would not have become the Apostle Paul. His brother James would not have become his brother James, right? So there's a lot of religions we actually have never even heard of who had a Messiah that died or was killed and did not resurrect, and that religion died. Yet we have this faith took off like a rocket because of the claim that this Messiah resurrected. And some people seem to like, nah, they made that all up. Okay.
All right.
The evidence does not support that at all.
Scientific evidence too.
Yeah, the evidence doesn't support that at all. And like people don't resurrect every day. That's what makes it a miracle. Look, if a guy predicts his death and resurrection and then does it, I'm gonna believe everything else he got to say.
You would think. But you would also think if you split the Red Sea and walk through it, you'll believe that as well.
Yeah, like if the guy says destroy this temple in 3 days, I will rebuild it, and he was really talking about himself, talking about the time is coming. Like I'm gonna be killed.
Double entendre.
It happens. Yeah. He said, but I'm gonna resurrect, and it happens. Everything else that man said was true. Whatever else you got to say, I got to believe it. Because you just said you was going to die and come back.
But that's the thing with us, though, bro. That's the thing with people, like I was saying. Like, we see stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And we still don't believe. And that's what blows my mind.
Yeah,
like,
we can say that for another episode, man. That's oh, man, I got a whole... That's what I call that the land of I don't know.
Okay.
Which people like living on that island. They like to live on the island of I don't know. And they think it's a safe place to be, not knowing that the water is coming up and will consume them one day.
Slowly but surely.
Because you want to live on the what you think is the lovely island of I don't know, because you think it's peaceful and it's where you can be cool with everybody. But when someone says, if Christianity were true, would you become a Christian? And you say no. And you say, why? Because I don't know if it's true. I said, in this scenario, it is. And you say, oh, well, I have to do more research. You don't have to do more research. I said, in this scenario, Christianity is as true as 2 + 2 = 4. Would you become a Christian? I don't know. So that's the thing. You want to live on the I don't know. You want to live in that land of I don't know. But that's a whole other rant for another day. There's a whole other... We ain't got time for that.
Say less. Great episode.
Yeah, man. Great episode. This is going to be a joy for me to edit somehow, some way. But we appreciate everybody tuning in, man. Thank y'all for tuning in to Game Day Grace. If you enjoy this conversation, you already know what to do. You hit that follow button, you hit that subscribe button, and you share with a family member or a friend. Share with somebody who wants to be in journalism. If you got a young student in your life, high school student, young college student, whatever, and they think they want to get into the sports broadcasting field, send this their way, because hopefully this really does set some things straight and they can be a little bit smartened up when they get into it, because this it's a great business. It's a lovely business. You get great access, but it does come with a lot of responsibility and it is a lot of hard work. And hopefully what we shared today is something that could, add a little wisdom to them that will take them beyond their years, so that way they can really hit the ground running when they enter this business, because we need more people. And we need more people of God in the business as well. So that's definitely what we need. So we appreciate everybody listening. Until we see you next Wednesday, I'm David Schiele. That is Cory Mose. This is Game Day Grace. You be easy and you be blessed.